This is Steve Van Order with AmpEFI DIY Auto Tune, and this is Tech Tuesday. Today, I'd like to talk about pinning, Amphenol, and Deutsch connectors, and how to do that with regular tools that you have in your garage or around your shop. Not everyone has specialty tools, so it depends on what type of terminal that you're using. Sometimes you've got a machined barrel crimp, and those do require a special tool. The pins that we supply with our harnesses are generally going to be the stamped terminals. And we do this because these stamped terminals can be crimped with a number of generic tools that you may or may not have around your shop. We'll show you how to do that. So when we're trying to identify the different components of a AT connector, we're going to have the housing. Notice how this housing looks different from this housing. Okay, this housing is meant for a female terminal. So we can see the female terminal looks like a barrel all the way through. Now a male terminal will fit into the female terminal like so. Okay, get a nice connection on that. You can tell which housing it's supposed to go into because this type of lock, notice it's got a cap with holes in it, fits into this housing. The wedge, if I tried to apply it, doesn't really fit into the housing. See how the nub of the wedge sticks out? That's incorrect. And vice versa, we cannot put the cap into the other housing. So, easy way to tell which type of terminal you're supposed to use is if it's got a cap like this with holes in it, it's always going to take a female terminal. If it has a wedge like so, it is always going to take a male terminal. Now, I grabbed some kind of whatever tools that we had lying around the shop here, rather than using specialty tools. I got a set of crimpers. I've got a real cheap, I think these are like $12 on Amazon, generic crimpers. And then to show you how to depin, I just grabbed a couple of tools that everybody will have, a small screwdriver and a pick. So when we're doing this, when you are working with one of our harnesses, this is generally what we're going to send. Get your wire stripped. You don't want to strip your wire too long. When you're looking at the terminal here, you want the wire stripped long enough to where the end of the wire will butt up against the terminal like so. You can see once we do the crimp, we'll have a nice wrap on the wire, and then this secondary crimp here will grip the insulation. That's important. Don't strip this too long. You won't get a good strain relief grip. And too short, and we don't want to get insulation. You know, if you've got something like this where the insulation is underneath that crimp, that's not going to be a good connection. That's about correct. Pretty easy. They come right off. Now, when I'm doing this, I like to put the terminal in the wire and then kind of hold it with my finger. Now, this is 20 gauge wire, so I'm going to use this 1820 crimp there. And if we look real close here, we can see that the top of the terminal folded in nicely. We don't have any frayed wires, nothing sticking out. And then to do the strain relief, I'm going to go one size up. I'm going to use the 1814 there. I'm just going to flip this over. Now, is this technically correct for this? No. Does it work great? Yes. Give this a little pinch on the sides, and we're done. Now, the reason why I gave it a little pinch on the sides, if this bottom part, because technically this is a generic crimper, it's not meant for this. You can use if you have an actual weather pack crimp tool, it works perfectly on these. If you don't squeeze the sides and you leave a bulge, what you're going to find is you're going to really fight with it when you go to apply the terminal to the connector. Real quick, these connectors are numbered on the back side of the connector, so it's really easy to tell which position that you're about to place your terminal. When you slide the terminal in, we'll slide this in location 1. Just push it in. And if it fights you, rotate the terminal 90 degrees and push again. I don't know if you could hear that, but you get a nice clean lock. You can see that I tug on it pretty good. Nothing's moving. And if this was the end of it, we'd simply take our wedge, drop it into place, and we grab the wrong tool for this here. And what I do is I grab the wedge with a tool, push it down into place, and we're done. All right? Now, if, let's say you stab the wire in the wrong location and you want to repin it, all we have to do is grab that lock, pull out, real easy. And there is, we'll need to get a close-up shot here inside. You can see that there are some, like a plastic pawl there that will hold the terminal in place. We just need to move that out of the way while we depin the terminal here. So I'm going to get this pick in here, and I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm just going to pull the terminal with my other hand, and it took the seal with it, but there we go. We have successfully depinned that connector. Really easy to depin and repin these connectors. The reason why we like to use these versus, say, a weather pack is by the data sheet, a weather pack connector can only is supposed to be replaced after 10 cycles. What that means is these terminals need to be replaced after 10 cycles of the connector. Amphenol and DT connectors are good for 25 to 100 cycles generally, and that's why we choose to use these, and really they're just simple.